a dragon eater before them, and the water god dragon Merkfovia above. We see Lucy, Happy, and Natsu are enjoying in a festival. Chapter 8. The God Dragon's Melancholy. We see all of them see Water Dragon God. He sees all of them. The manager says, Lord Water God Dragon. He says, ye who seek the blood of a dragon, leave this land at once. Kiria says, so you've finally shown yourself. I've been waiting for this moment. Madmol says, Kiria, this isn't the sort of enemy we can defeat without a plan. Kiria replies, I beg to differ. There is nothing I cannot cut. We see their body starts to disappear. Madmol says, this is. Water Dragon God is shocked. Gray says, what the? Lucy says, their bodies are. Natsu says, Ash. Kiria shouts, is that you, Skarian? Why no? The water god dragon stands right before us. Once I get back, I'm not letting you off easily, Skarian. Madmol says, well, then. Bye. Both of them are completely vanished. Lucy says, it was probably a type of magic used to move from place to place. But if it was a dragon eater's power, do they have an ash dragon? Urza says, what in the world was that just now? Carla says, ash magic. Wendy says, that turns your friends into ash? Both Natsu and Water Dragon God stares each other. Water Dragon God asks, are you a dragon slayer? Have you come to slay me? Natsu replies, nope. Not exactly. Natsu says, we've taken a job that requires us to seal the 5 dragons. And you look like you're one of them. Lucy says, but we don't know what we're gonna do if you turn out to be a good guy. I mean, he left out a lot of details, but... Water Dragon God says, I see. That fool Eleftheria. I see he hasn't yet given up. Happy asks, you know Eleftheria? He replies, he's been sending assassins one after another for my head for the past 100 years. Natsu asks, so, you a good guy? Or are you a bad guy? While Lucy says, could you not be so direct? Water Dragon God thinks a bit. And says, well, now, I can't say. At the very least, I don't harbor any enmity for you all. Not at the moment. Natsu says, dang it. So the 100-year quest is a wash right off the bat. Lucy says, wait. If he doesn't have any ill will towards humans, he can't be a disaster, can he? We might just be able to win this without fighting at all. Gray says, you're right. If we don't have a reason to fight him, we can't seal him. The water dragon replies, no. You should seal me. I must be sealed. Team Natsu is shocked. The water dragon god says, you all seem a bit different than the usual assassins I see. We see water is surrounding Team Natsu. Natsu says, the water is. Happy says, we're going underwater. Manager says, no way. The water dragon god says, Kashima. These people are now my guests. I will not tolerate any further impoliteness towards them. The manager replies, yes. Natsu is shocked. The water dragon god says, I'll show you to my palace. Follow me. We see the palace of Water Dragon God. They all are inside the palace. Gray says, whoa. This is crazy. Natsu says, there's air inside here. Urza says, I never expected a place like this to exist below the sea. Carla says, what is that statue? Happy says, a fishman, I suppose. Wendy, while crying, says, how? How long Ami going to stay a jellyfish? Water Dragon God does something and Wendy is back in human form. Wendy is happy and says, I changed back. Wendy asks, you have the power to release magics, don't you, Mr. Water God Dragon? Water Dragon God replies, not everything I can manage magic like that though. Someone from behind says, Lord Water Dragon. She says, why have you brought people like this to your sacred palace? Water Dragon says, that's Caramel. She assists me in a variety of ways. Allow me to introduce you. These are mages from Ishgar. Lucy says, hi. Natsu says, we're from the Magic Guild fairy tale. She replies, good for you. You've probably been sent by Eleftheria. Gray says, well, yeah. Caramel says, go ahead if you plan on challenging the water god dragon. Go ahead. He's not a foe the likes of you could handle. Water Dragon God says, come now Caramel, wait a moment. It seems I can reason with these people. Allow me to speak with them. Caramel is confused for a bit. She says, start talking. Urza says, that was your che to leave. She thinks for a bit. She says, humph. Make sure you finish them off, okay? And leaves. They ask, finish off? Water Dragon God says, my. She's a human child, you know. After I saved her when she was wrecked at sea, she began to live with me. She's not a bad girl, but... Ha ha. Team Nastu is shocked. He continues to says, this is my prized Linderwater farm. The fruits and vegetables that are grown here are distributed to the people of Elmina. This is a medical facility. Fish that are hurt are treated here. And this tower is above water so that it can be a watchtower. It helps me find shipwreck survivors like Caramel as fast as I can and save them. Wendy says, really? Urza says, I'm so moved. Natsu says, the thought of a dragon saving shipwrecked people makes me cry. Gray says, you're way too good of a guy. Lucy says, are you really Merkfovia, the water god dragon? Water Dragon God smiles. Happy says, but this means you're not a disaster. Carla says, indeed you don't seem harmful in the least. Water Dragon God says, that's not true. Despite what I may seem like now, I killed many humans in the past. Like ants before the tide. Lucy is shocked. I understand why LF Syria is after me. His friends and family are among the people I killed. I don't want to explain how or why. But at the time, what I did was second nature to me. It was age where the strong hunted the weak. Urza asks, did you have a change of heart somewhere along the way? Water Dragon replies, yes. Caramel was the beginning. The truth is, I didn't want to save her. When I found her, I didn't think her more than prey. But I became strangely attached to her and, before I realized it, I'd begun walking down the path of coexistence. Natsu smiles. I truly want to continue living like this forever, but very soon, I must disappear from this earth. Lucy asks, what do you mean? He replies, you saw the city of Bulmina, didn't you? The unnatural tide that sinks it to the bottom of the ocean. It is a side effect of my power. I can no longer control my powers. We see his hand are trembling. The fish of that city were all originally humans. In order to allow them to adapt to underwater life, I put them Lindra magic that allows them to become fish. Wendy says, oh, so that's how you turned me back into a human. Gray asks, why don't the people of the city just leave? The water god dragon faith. The atrocities I committed in the past were somehow passed down as miracles. Happy asks, if they want to believe in their religion so badly, why don't you just tell them to leave? That's asking me to steal away their very lives. Besides, even if humans no longer live in that city, nothing changes. My powers will eventually stretch to the next-boring cities and then the ones beyond those. They cannot be contained. Not as long as I remain alive. Lucy says that's. Natsu asks, is there no other way? He replies, no. That is why I have been waiting. For people who can kill me to come. Team Natsu is sad. He says, but before that, there is one thing I must do. My greatest miscalculation and my worst nightmare. We see a ship in the sea. Kiria shouts, what's the big idea, Scarian? The water god dragon was right in front of us. Madmol says, now. Calm down. She shouts, why do you think I let myself be captured? The man in coat says, the situation has changed. Can you not feel it? The water god dragon's powers. Kiria is confused. He says he must not be eaten. He says, did you think you could deceive the dragon eaters, you false water god dragon? The author says, what is this nightmare that troubles the water god dragon? Mage Guild Diabolo's Corpse Dragon Scarian Raider. Chapter 8 End. If you enjoyed our journey through the world of manga, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating insights.